Ciao everyone and welcome back to Green Wings Migration YouTube channel. My name is Eleonora, I'm a registered migration agent in Perth and I'm the director at Green Wings Migration. First of all, I want to thank you all for following our channel, for being so interactive with us, for sending us all your questions and emails and comments. We just love it. So if you want to do just a little bit more for us, if you don't mind to click the subscribe button so you are sure that you never miss any important update like the one that I'm about to tell you about. So on the 7th, we received the news, actually we received it on the 6th and then it was published officially on the 7th, that a new legislative instrument defining the different level of English that you should achieve for visa purposes was being released. The new legislative instrument introduces many new things which are not as easy to understand and calculate, and you'll see why. So the first thing that it does is introducing 3 new English tests. So for years we saw that IELTS was the main thing. Everybody was going for the IELTS, and especially the IELTS, general for visa purposes and academic for study purposes. Then obviously we always have had the OET, which is primarily for medical personnel and health professionals. Slowly, the PTE academic made its way as well, and is probably one of the most used tests together with IELTS. From the 7th of August, there are, as I said, 3 more tests which are going to be accepted. One is English Cert, the other one is MET, and the other one is CELPIP. I think it's pronounced it that way, but I don't know. I'll still need to figure it out because I've never come across this test before. So as long as you know, there are 3 more tests. Maybe any of those is more common, more frequently used in your country. So feel free to use it if you're thinking to migrate to Australia. What it does, this instrument, is also to amend the score that you need to achieve to show you have a certain language proficiency. So just to recap, in Australia, we identify different levels. So we have functional English, which is the most basic. Then you have vocational, then you have competent, then you have proficient, and finally you have superior. So the score for IELTS test did not change, but the scores for the PTE, for example, they change and they are a mess. They are all over the place. Like, for example, competent English used to be super easy, 15 each band score. And now each band score has 4 different values that you need to achieve. So third thing that the legislative instrument introduced, and it's a fair question that everyone asked on the different forums already, is, but what happens to the test I've done before? Like, did I just wasted $400, $800, $1,200 in tests that are no longer accepted? No, that's not the case. So the rule is, if you apply for a visa after the 7th of August, and you have also sit a test after the 7th of August, whatever is the score in the new legislative instrument is your aim, is what you need to achieve to lodge a valid visa. And obviously you need to achieve different levels depending on the proficiency that you need to show. But there is a grandfathering provision as well, like a protection provision. If you lodge your visa after the 7th of August, but you have a valid test with results that are those the results before the 7th of August, and the test is no older than 3 years from the day of when you lodge your visa, then the old scores will remain in place, are accepted, they remain valid. So you haven't basically wasted your money. The other question that got asked is, okay, I set an English test before the 7th, I achieved the new results, can I use it anyway? No. So the new results can only be used with tests that are sit after the 7th of August, obviously for those visas that will be lodged after the 7th of August as well. Something that I did find very confusing, but after thinking about it for a while, it kind of makes sense, is that not all visas are subject to these English levels, the new English levels. So this legislative instrument is particularly relevant for 186, 494, and skill visas. Why? Because if you read the legislation about those visa subclasses, the legislation tells you you need to achieve competent English, or you need to achieve proficient English to claim points, and so on and so forth. In other visas, like 500, 485 postgraduate, and 482 skill in demand visa, so the sponsorship, legislation is worded differently. So the legislation for those three visa subclasses tells you that in order to get granted the visa, you need to achieve a certain level of English, which is specified in a certain legislative instrument. Guess what? That legislative instrument is not the legislative instrument of the 7th of August. So there are three different instruments for those three different visa categories. One is specific for visa 500 student, one is specific for visa 485 postgraduate, and those have been released since a few months already. So whichever instrument you read about now is going to be already in place. And finally, the new legislative instrument for the new English level that needs to be achieved for 482 visas will not be released until September 2025, maybe, subject to legislation being passed and accepted and everything. So, everything to say, if you apply for a 482 visa right now, you still need to achieve vocational English, and that vocational English is still set as 36 in each band score of the PTE, or 5 in each band score of the IELTS test, whether it's general or academic, it doesn't matter. We will obviously monitor the legislation as it gets passed, and if and when a new legislative instrument for visa 482 will be published, be assured we will one of the first one to let you know as well. If you have questions, if I didn't confuse you enough, just feel free to, ask everything down below in the comment section. I'll make sure to get back to you as soon as possible. As always, subscribers first. So if you haven't yet, subscribe. Thank you.